Good morning, everyone. We would like to introduce you to the project Inclusive Continued Education. In 2014, the Center for Adult Education, or Volwassen Onderwijs, IClife and Thomas More joined forces to organize an inclusive continued program for people with intellectual disabilities. The dream we had was that any student... Sorry? Okay. Is this better? Is it okay now?
I think it's better when you take it in your hand.
The dream we had was that any student, no matter their background or needs, would feel at home at the campus and would be able to follow an education program. Education is a basic right, after all, to anybody. But we notice that in our society, not everybody has the possibilities to develop themselves, and that there are many barriers to achieving this for many people. It's the first time I have to talk about this project in English, and I'm a bit nervous, so sorry for that.
You do it very well.
Thank you. At the start, we first organized such a continued education program for people with special needs in 2014. It was a joint project of Thomas More and the Center for Adult Education, IClife, as I mentioned before. We also called upon other organizations to help us realize this. Organizations with expertise for people with special needs, as well as training organizations. We also needed job coaches to help our members with finding supported work. VZ2 Connect and Passform have been excellent partners from the start and are here today with us to talk about the project. Thanks to their long-standing expertise on training people with special needs, we could start our training program to become co-workers. A program in which our members could discover their talents and passions, their own qualities and capacities, so they could find work later on in life. In the first edition, we organized 3 welcome days during which our new students could discover the campus, find out about the life of students, and learn about what a higher education institute is like. Because studying is so much more than just attending a training program. In this way, we aimed at creating an inclusive campus, a campus in which everyone would feel at home. Social work students became buddies of our new students, and they welcomed them at the campus and supported them. You'll learn more about this buddy project this afternoon. Students of occupational therapy designed new ways of working in class and taught our students. The students of applied psychology conducted research on what it meant to be an inclusive campus. Is our campus accessible enough? And what do the students of Thomas More, lecturers and staff feel about our new students coming? The synergy with Thomas More allowed us to give students with special needs a well-defined place at our campus. In the next 14 days, which are weekly, our students were trained. They learned general skills as well as profession-specific ones. Our colleagues from Connect and Passform will tell you more about the contents of what our students learned and about their experiences with the project soon. I'd rather focus on how students went about finding supported work. During internships, the students could work in what they found interesting. Some wanted to work in catering, others wanted to do administrative work, still others wanted to work in agriculture or in a printing company. During their internships, they were supported by a job coach at the shop floor. When our participants graduated, they could find supported work, which meant that they were supported by the job coach. The job coaches were one of the pillars of the project. Somebody who assisted our participants during the whole track, from starting the program at Thomas More until being in supported employment and remaining in it. We definitely feel our job coaches are one of the strengths of this project. After 2 editions of having run the program, we noticed that all of our course participants have found a place in supported employment. After the first edition, we tried to make the second edition even better by reinforcing our networks on the shop floor and by involving students in social work and occupational therapy even more. In the meantime, I have passed on the role of course leader to my colleague Anne, who is in charge of our 3rd edition. This is Anne. She will talk to you soon about what we have learned in this project so far and on what the future will bring. But I'll close off with 2 more stories that were highlights in this project so far. The first... okay. So 2 meaningful stories. The first story is the story of Joran. Joran was one of our students of the 1st edition. He was very keen on finding out what it meant to be a real student, and he had a passion for horticulture. He wanted to attend classes with other students, and he actually managed to do so, and attended classes with a student's Bachelor of Agro and Biotechnology for his internship. He learned to take care of plants and to trim and repot plants. While working in the greenhouses of the campus, he talked to the horticulture students and learned about the lives they are leading. He was really enthusiastic about what he learned, and at one point he also wanted to be baptized, just like the fresher students of the faculty. We show you a little film on this in a minute. Jor never really managed to live the life of his fellow students, but at least he saw part of what student lives are like. A second story is about Jan, another student of our 1st edition. He was also here yesterday. I will never forget the day when he told us he wanted to mean something for society. He explained that he has a physical and intellectual disability, and that despite those, he is smart, but that nobody ever noticed that apart from his direct family. He said that he had never had the opportunity to share his ideas about society, and that he did not have any possibilities to be heard about his ideas on inclusion. Today, Jan feels supported in his message, and he has found the channels to be heard. By becoming a Thomas More student, he obtained a clear role, and he now speaks to the bachelor students in social work about his ideas on inclusive society every year. He also writes articles for an association group for people with special needs, and he has talked to the press multiple times about his ideas on inclusion. Besides, it wasn't only Jan who made himself heard. In our 1st edition, King Philip of Belgium came around to visit the project, and he talked to one of our course participants. Mitch, it's the name of the student, and his buddy, explained to the king that it was his ambition to find work. He just wants to work. Let us now listen to Anne, who will talk about the future of our project. Afterwards, our trainers, Christa and Miriam from Connect and Pasforum will share their experiences of the project with you. Before all this, watch this small film about our inclusive continued education program.
At Thomas More campus, students with intellectual disabilities take courses organized specifically for them, preparing them for work placements on campus or in the neighborhood.
Hallo, ik wil eigenlijk in een organisatie gaan werken voor mensen te helpen, voor de maatschappij beter te maken. Ik vind het eigenlijk heel fijn dat ik geslaagd ben.
The goal is to promote and support inclusion. For example, having lunch with the regular students. This kind of approach is unique in Belgium. Once a week, they come together to attend classes to become a collaborator in logistics. Teamwork is important. They learn how to work together while finding creative solutions.
Ik graag doe, want ik heb ook mijn ervaring.
Ja, mijn verhalen, ik heb een een stage van verhalen, dat ik in een bedrijf
Today they will be baptized, which is an enormous boost of confidence. This is organized by the students of the Bachelor of Social Work. As their buddy, they help them during the school year.
Wat vind je van vandaag, Jan?
Ik vind vandaag eigenlijk beter dan verwacht, want ze zeggen altijd dat het een doop is met vettige spalletjes, maar het is echt aangepast voor ons.
And like any other student baptism, a shower afterwards is necessary.
My name is Anne, and I would like to tell you something about the program this academic year. We have started the third edition of the program this academic year. The 3 welcome days and the first training day are behind us. We have tried to emphasize new elements in the program this year. Within the philosophy of a more inclusive campus, a special learning and living environment for every student, we want to increasingly involve faculties and students of the University of Applied Sciences in our program to train people with intellectual disabilities to become co-workers. From this year on, we are collaborating with students in occupational therapy. We aim for adequate interaction between the students and the course members. By involving the occupational therapy degree program, it has become possible to work in a more demand-driven way. The basis of the program remains the same for every course member. There is still a strong focus on talent development. There is a great potential in cooperating with occupational therapy in coaching the development of work skills of the members. The members can be individually indicate in which area they still want to develop themselves within their internship. The occupational therapy students will then offer training tailored to the needs of the different course members. This can be a theoretical elaboration on dementia, for example, for a member who is doing an internship in a residential care center and who would like to learn more about how to deal with elderly people with dementia. Or this can be a practical training for another member who wants to travel independently to the internship organization. A part of the training is therefore based on the individual questions of the course members. The members and the students in occupational therapy attend courses on communication skills together. The students of the university college learn to give feedback, and the course members learn to deal with the feedback given, which is a win-win situation. Both parties also work together to help the course members develop their work skills in their personal internships. The college students then coach the members at work while they carry out their assignments. There has been a closer cooperation with Begeleidwerken Zuiderkempen since this academic year. We try to have course members move on to supported work. By working together more intensively, it can already be discussed during the training which interests the course members have and what possibilities there are for supported work after the internship. How about the future? At the moment, Thomas More is running an ECF project, CVO Inclusive. The following partners are involved, and Thomas More is the leading partner in the research. CVO Inclusive aims at strengthening people with intellectual disabilities so that they have more opportunities for accessing supported employment. CVO Inclusive takes up the societal challenge to give people with intellectual disabilities what they are entitled to: access to adult education. This way, the group of people with intellectual disabilities can be better supported so that they can find a job with a good career prospects more easily at every stage of their working life. Work or supported work also has a major impact on the inclusion and quality of life of people with disabilities. CVO Inclusive adopts existing methodologies but supplies them in a new context. After all, specialized training programs aimed at people with intellectual disabilities are already in place, but the standard CVO programs themselves are even not accessible to them. To make these training programs accessible, reasonable adjustments have to be made, so that a person with a disability receives the support they need within the general education system to facilitate effective participation in education. The final goal is to obtain social assistance that can be implemented in all centers for higher education in Flanders, and to come to policy recommendations concerning inclusive adult education. This would comprise a scenario for centers for adult education to organize an inclusive training program, to train the implementation of it, and to develop a model to support inclusive students.
We have 3 minutes left, so I will take 1 minute, and I will show you Sarah. She was one of the people who followed the course, and she says the most important thing in the course is discovering your own talents and the fact that you can grow in it. And I think that is the success of the education program, and that's also our expertise that we brought into this project with tools to discover and develop talents. It's all about that thing, I guess. So that was very short. Eh? If you want more to know about the way we work, then I think you can ask me for more information about tools to work on talent. Okay.